Very good morning to you. Thank you so much for starting with us on 32 FM 94.9 Ibadan. We are located on the fourth floor, Cocoa House Building, Dugbe, Ibadan. My name is DELE ADEYANJU.
And I'm GBEMISOLA SOYEMI. We have with us the usuals. I have with me this morning Daily Trust, The Nation, Guardian, and Premium Times.
I have here at the moment Daily Post and Punch newspapers.
All right, taking headlines from the Nation newspaper. ICPC uncovers widespread budget fraud in MDAs. FEC okays road contracts in Ondo, Ogun, Nasarawa, Benue, and others. Also, by-election tribunal strikes out 2 cases in Cross River. Rivers APC factions clash over Supreme Court decisions. We killed 11 persons in Offa robbery, says suspects. A lecturer dies inside hall. That's a sad one there. Also this morning from the Nation newspaper, Osun government closes Olaiya intersection. Students flood Unilag, Yaba Tech campuses despite online classes. Also this morning, there's this one in the Nation. PIB puts in national interest above selfish sentiments. PDP governors fault centralized community policing. Minister petitions IG over alleged fake news. Corruption deep at state council levels, says PSCAC. ICPC uncovers widespread budget fraud in MDAs. Okay, I took that earlier as well. EFCC urges Supreme Court to return Metu to prison. Some more headlines from the politics side in the Nation newspaper. Propaganda against Tinubu will fail, says new political association. Also, Akwa Ibom ex-militants threaten resumption of hostilities. Buhari won't interfere in Anambra pool, APGA chair. And finally, this one says how Uzodinma is repositioning Imo by commissioner.
Headlines from the Daily Post newspaper this morning. Kagara, schools becoming danger spots for bandits. NUT threatens federal government. Boko Haram, terrorists attack Mate, Gubio in Borno. Senate moves against exorbitant charges on goods by cargo companies. Kagara, troops in pursuit of abductors of Niger students, Army. Enugu, witnessing influx of people because of peace. NSCDC boss tells Governor Gwayi. Alta Sempa faces reps panel over ownership of Health Plus Pharmacy. Senate confirms Adolphus as Auditor General of the Federation. I bought my third jet during COVID-19 lockdown. Apostle Suleiman. Niger students, bandits attack will discourage school enrollment. Northern governors, Abia, Governor Ikpeazu makes new appointment. Still taking headlines from the Daily Post newspaper. Muslim group warns Southerners to stop attacking Northerners. Bandits neutralized by troops in Kaduna village. 544 million naira grass cutting scam. Former SGF's brother Amidu Lawal's firm indicted by EFCC witness insecurity. Another civil war imminent. Prophet Ayodele warns Buhari. Ash Wednesday, journey of Lent, and exodus from slavery. Pope Francis will investigate allegations of presence of helicopters during attacks on communities. Niger Governor Bello. VAPP bill, rapists to get life imprisonment in Bayelsa. Imo Assembly approves renaming Okorocha's Eastern Palm University after Mbadiwe. Insecurity. Zamfara lawmakers caucus call for negotiation with bandits. NASI chairman suspended over allegations of fraud, abuse of office, and kidnapped Niger students. Federal government considers political military options. Queen Elizabeth's husband, Prince Philip, hospitalized. That's the final shot I'll be taking from the Daily Post newspaper this morning.
All right, moving on to the Guardian newspaper. Buhari orders rescue as terrorists urge Kagara students into forest. Tension eases at Shasha community. Act now to prevent another civil war, Arewa Youth Forum tells Buhari. Crude production reconciliation creates rift in oil industry. FEC approves 62 billion naira for Benin Ore Ajibandele Road and others. PDP governors reject community policing, back state police. Bayelsa Assembly passes VAP Act, endorses VAPP Act endorses live jail for rapists. Lawan flays promotion of EFCC, ICPC above Auditor General. ICPC indicts MDAs in 220 million naira tax fraud. How we killed 11 persons by offer bank robbery suspects. EFCC defends Bawa over alleged corruption. NYCN backs nomination. Ex-SGF not involved in 544 million naira grass cutting scam. Witness tells court. Okay, more headlines in the Guardian newspaper. Also this morning, lawmakers back recovery of varsity from Okorocha. Buhari, Zamfara governor discussed security in Abuja. Rivers approved 12.4 billion naira for 2 flyovers. Group condemns brutality against Occupy Lekki Tollgate protesters. Imo government, doctors hold truce talks to end crisis in health sector. Benue links cholera outbreak to open defecation, arbitrary burials. Yoruba groups in diaspora seek probe of Shasha killings. Also this morning, Imo court to hear Ohakim's 5 billion naira libel suit against mistress today. Delta panel adjourns kidnap kingpin's case, admits video clip as evidence. Sanwo-Olu tasks youth on leadership, promises forum. Cross River Petition Tribunal strikes out by-election cases. NDDC partners BPP on procurement reforms. Also, Sultan applauds UNICEF, others for supporting social protection in Sokoto State. Gombe unveils 10-year development plan. And also Osun State government to close Olaya intersection for 9 months. Troops eliminate more terrorists, destroy meeting point in Yobe.
Taking headlines from the Punch newspaper, while I prayed that COVID-19 should not end, Apostle Suleiman. Niger school invasion, bandits tied 42 abductees in pairs, fled to bush on motorbikes. Residents Aisha Buhari birthday greetings absent as president's wife. Clocks 50. The Smith Corp supplied 5 AK-47 rifles for bank robbery. Suspect FCTA bans open grazing in Abuja. Establishes Riga in 3 area councils. 42 billion naira personnel cost for 2019 was blocked from being stolen. ICPC. Ishba panel probes official caught with housewife in Kano Hotel. Ishba panel probes official caught with housewife in Kano Hotel. Delta pregnant lawyer killed as robbers open fire on vehicle. Southeast farmers demand 9 billion naira from federal government over herdsmen's menace. Osun to close Olaya Road for 9 months. Man remanded for alleged rape. Impregnating Katsina 16-year-old girl. Rivers okays 12.4 billion naira for 2 Port Harcourt flyovers. Federal government okays 62 billion naira for Benin Ore Road. Others are still taking headlines from the Punch. Experts urge Lagos to maintain digital policy consistency. Sanwo-Olu 6 return histories to school curriculum. Sanwo-Olu 6 return histories to school curriculum. And IG drafts 150 anti-kidnapping forces in FCT. 3 killed. Houses raised in Borno IDP campfire. Niger school invasion. Bandits tied 42 abductees in pairs. Fled to bush on motorbikes. I took that earlier. Quarantine bills kills second reading in Senate. Relocate to approved markets or risk sanctions. Egiti wants traders. Protesting workers shot OAU gate over hazard allowance. And governors must use talks with bandits to end killings. Matawale. Youth traders attack Niger Deputy Governor's house over market demolition. Southeast farmers demand 9 billion naira from federal government over herdsmen's menace. And finally, absence of internal democracy hinders party's growth. INEC.
Premium Times, Senate moves to repeal 96-year-old Quarantine Act. Troops in pursuit of abductors of Kagara school students, staff. And that's coming from the Nigerian Army. Zamfara lawmakers to Buhari grant amnesty to repentant bandits. Nigerian court blocks Shell's accounts over alleged oil theft. Senate confirms Nigeria's new Auditor General. Bank attaches conditions to free NIN registration. Also, new EFCC chair. Lawyers, activists fault non-disclosure of probes panel's report on Magu. I'll take that again. Lawyers, activists fault non-disclosure of probe panel's report on Magu. 3 dead as fire raises 600 homes in Borno IDP camp. Police arrest protesters for allegedly violating COVID-19 regulations. Also, Buhari transmits 2021 Police Trust Fund budget proposal to Senate. Buhari transmits 2021 Police Trust Fund budget proposal to Senate. Jeff Bezos regains position as the world's richest person. Again, APC spokesperson blasts Lai Mohammed. Kagara abduction, federal government promises to take political and military steps to secure release of college students. Declare state of emergency on insecurity, Senate tells Buhari. Also, Niger governor shuts 4 boarding schools after kidnap of students. Nigerian army to deploy ICT in countering propaganda. That's coming from Atahiro. Nearly 50% of consumers not okay with buying with Bitcoin. That's according to a survey. Shasha market crisis. Kano government donates 18.5 million naira to victims. Free kidnapped Niger students, staff immediately, Buhari tells security agencies. Also, there's an exclusive report. 7 soldiers killed as Boko Haram sacks military base in Borno State. Traders attack deputy governor's residence as Niger government demolish shops. More headlines coming from Premium Times newspaper this morning. Why Abdul Rashid Bawa's nomination as EFCC boss is shocking. That's coming from Magu's lawyer. COVID-19, Anambra records highest daily infections as Nigeria's figure rises. Kidnappers release video of travelers abducted in Niger State. And finally, Buhari blames elites with resource and influence for upheavals in Nigeria.
We'll take a break for a message. For some messages, when we come back, we bring you the analysis of the headlines this morning.
Every day is another chance to do it all over again.
Get the best of starts on the break of dawn. 32 FM 94.9.
lọ mú àpò débi tí ebílẹ̀ ṣe àìpò méjì fún mi.
Máàmì méjì báwo.
Torí pé màá fi kan rẹ àwọn aṣọ funfun yìí màá fi kan tó kò pa gbogbo kòkòrò.
ṣùgbọ́n èmi ò rí kòkòrò bíbá ẹ̀ máàmì.
wo wọ́n kéré débi pé o ò lè fojú rí wọn ṣùgbọ́n wá ìdí nìyẹn tọkàn mi fi balẹ̀ lórí bílíìṣì àìpò láti pamọ́ pátápátá.
jẹ́ káṣọ funfun rẹ funfun sí i kí lè rẹ́ sì bọ́ lọ́wọ́ kòkòrò àìfojúrí tí ń fa àìsàn. agbára àfọ̀mọ́ tó wà nínú bílíìṣì àìpò yóò pa gbogbo kòkòrò àìfojúrí pátápátá.
mọ ohun tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní àyíká rẹ nípasẹ̀ ìròyìn BBC ní Yorùbá nítorí kí o tó lè tayọ o ní láti mọ̀ ọ́n ní ìmísí pẹ̀lú àwọn oríṣiríṣi ìròyìn láti ibi àti káàkiri àgbáyé. Nígbà tí o bá ní ìmọ̀ nípa ohun tó ń lọ ní àgbáyé o lè ṣe ohunkóhun. Mọ ohun tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní àyíká rẹ wá BBC News Yorùbá kàn.
It's a happy feeling when receiving all of the love coming from family.
So many recipes, creating memories every day and every night. Bonding family together.
60 years of joy, giving love, so much for you. Quality, golden penny is you, golden penny is me. Golden pennies at the heart of the family. Golden penny is you, golden penny is me. Golden pennies at the heart
Foods is celebrating 60 years at the heart of the family.
Heart of the family.
FM 94.9.
Well, thank you so much for being part of the program this morning. In case you just joined us, this is 32 FM 94.9 Ibadan. And the program is Break It Down Newspaper Review. My name is DELE ADEYANJU.
And I'm GBEMISOLA SOYEMI.
Don't forget you're live on YouTube this morning, 32 FM 949 Ibadan. We have our analyst in the studio, Dr. Olu Ojedokun, a lawyer and an administrator from the Lead City University. You're welcome, Doc.
Yes, and of course, it's top of the day to you.
Yes, we're going to start with the regular, one of the common stories we have in the papers this morning. And it's common in, I read Daily Post, I read from Punch, and I'm sure Baby too read
Definitely,
from all those papers.
in all the papers.
We used to have the Kankara. We had some other sports earlier, and now the attention is on Kagara. Is this a situation of sabotage against the presidency of President Muhammadu Buhari?
It's certainly a recurring decimal. It's certainly a predictable response to a government where many people would suggest has lost control of the security of the country in that sense. It's become a feature, there's no doubt about that. And we keep on using the word bandits. I think bandits is quite a fanciful word. I think they're just plain terrorists, that's what they are. Because what they do is they exploit the gaps in security apparatus, they kidnap, and after a period of time they negotiate ransom, even though the government always denies it. But I think it's become very predictable that a center that cannot hold ensures that even the security cannot be ensured. One of the things I said yesterday in an analysis is that we don't know what is happening, but certainly somebody is playing the fool, in the sense that it doesn't appear as if there's a firm grip, a firm hand on the tiller of security. And so that gap is being exploited. When you have instability at this level, what you need is a strong center. And what you need is clear objectives of what you want to achieve. But when you have so many centers competing at the same time, then you're going to get these gaps. And of course, they're going to be exploited. And the problem we have in Nigeria is not just in Niger State. It's in most states. There's one issue or the other. And we don't have infinite resources. The military has their hands tied in the insurgency going in the northeast. The police too are limited in what they can do. Civil defense, I don't know what they do. I know, but tongue in the cheek. So there's actually a problem here, and a government that cannot ensure the stability and security of the citizenry is good enough for nothing. And don't quote me. I just quote the Constitution.
Definitely, this is not going to be about Boko Haram again. It's about these people called bandits who are making cheap money from the government.
Yes, Gumi would want us to believe that they lent this stock in trade from Niger Delta and so on and so forth. But at least in the Niger Delta, you knew why they were doing what they were doing. Yeah, this is just pure criminality. You understand? They're exploiting gaps and they're exploiting to the full. And who are they going after? They're going after children. I think it's quite despicable. But I think what is more despicable is when you see the classrooms and when you see the schools, the lack of investment. For a country, you understand, that makes so much from petroleum over the years, a lack of investment in education, a lack of investment in security, the lack of investment in health. I think that's also the story. And that's the story that I think also should be at the top of the agenda.
Let's talk about the president's reaction to this. This is not the first time a spokesperson will talk on behalf of the president. This time around, it was also Garba Shehu who released a statement quoting the president as, ordering security agencies to make sure that they bring back the school children.
First and foremost, we're not even sure that Buhari even is aware of that particular statement, because a lot of times it is his spokesman. The reason why I say that, and I'm not trying to be very funny here, is that in other climes, the president comes to grips with this thing, addresses the nation, visits the scene, is there, the body language is there, the messaging is there, and that consistency we see. But we don't see this, we just see spokesmen. And you see, spokesmen are not elected officials. Spokesmen are not the people we put there. And so there's always a disconnect between a spokesman and the people. And that's what we're getting again and again. And then the statements become very formulaic, in the sense, we will do this, we will do that. I can count the number of times that Garba Shehu very few times, Femi Adesina, I've issued such statements, and nothing has happened afterwards as a result of that. There's a disconnect between what the spokesman is saying and what is really going on the ground. At the last time, we thank God, the Kangara didn't last too long. You know, we don't know what happened behind the scene, but we are thankful to God Almighty. But we can't continue like this, that every season people will be kidnapped.
Well, in this case, we heard that somebody was murdered in cold blood while trying to escape. One of the students.
Yes, well, those are the kind of characters we're dealing with. You know, these are remorseless, and these are unrepentant criminals, you know, from that point of view. And I think if anybody gets in their way, they would mind, even if they were children. And I think that's rather unfortunate. But I think people are tired. I think people are frustrated, and people are asking, when will it end? You know, and when will the government get to grips with this? And the government's only answer is to issue press releases at this stage.
Right now, we're going to have some schools being shot around that Kano, Niger, and after a while we forget, schools resume, and another strike happens.
Yeah, another strike happens. I think the unfortunate thing about it is that the children who are the future of this country, who are the future.
Children is the future of this country?
They have to be, because without the children, there is no country. They have to be. I mean, they have to be. Whether the future is good or not is another matter entirely. But they're certainly the future, because we are going to hand over to somebody, and it has to be them. And I think this is saying that their future is not bright. If this is what we're going to continue, if this is this kind of trauma they're going to be facing, then the future is not bright.
For a while now, we've been looking for solutions, or the government, and, you know, people have been looking for solutions to these attacks, the banditry, and all of that. And now the most recent development is the two factions we have, those saying that the military should bombard these bandits, their camps, and the other faction saying that dialogue is the way forward. Now, with this latest attack, which of these two options are actually going to work?
Well, I don't really go for any of those options. I think the main option that we should be going for is to build up our intelligence gathering, detection, operating behind the scenes, breaking up their network of financial transactions. And we are not able to follow it through. I don't think they had it. If they had it, they would have been able to at least spot them from a mile. When I mean spot them from the mile, not physically, but in terms of knowing what's going on. There are chatters going on all over the place. Chatters on the social media, not, you know, our social media, but all these criminals, you know, they communicate with each other. And what you have to do is to break through their communication channels, find out what exactly they are planning. Because they must communicate in some shape or form. And we are unable to break through those channels. So we are always caught unawares. So I don't think bombardment is going to help at all. Because when you bombard indiscriminately, the innocents, you're going to get the innocents. When dialogue, you understand, you're emboldening them, because they know that each time they come, you dialogue with them, you give them a few crumbs, you know, ransom and so on. So they would do it again. I think you can do all those things. But at the same time, we must upgrade our intelligence gathering and get at the root cause, and also cut through their logistics, their networks, supply and transport, all those sort of things.
But talking about that, we've seen, I think it was last week, we saw a report of the Nigerian army, you know, dropping some bombs in some places, and not forgetting that we also have names of places that have been identified as the camps. For instance, we have the popular Sambisa Forest. So it means that we are sure, or should I say the Nigerian army claims that they are sure that these are the camps of these bandits.
Yes, they might be sure, but do we know the size of Sambisa Forest? Sambisa Forest is a vast, and I'm not sure we have the sorties are the bombs being dropped, that can actually cover the entire scale. So they might be able to locate some camps, but these people are also highly mobile. And I think that's part of the problem in dealing with either Boko Haram or the bandit. They don't stay in one spot, they move from place to place. And a lot of times they hide in plain sight amongst even the local populace. So bombing them, you understand, is not always the option. It works sometimes, but in the long term doesn't work. And have you not asked the question why, even with the incessant bombings, we still get them? Because social disconnection, economic deprivation, all those sort of things also fuels. They have recruiting. You know, poverty is a recruiting sergeant for many of these bandits, if we may choose to still call them bandits or terrorists.
Well, it's a new lexicon. Yeah, banditry. Don't you think it has some political sponsorship?
Of course it has some political sponsorship. Maybe the politicians are no longer in control. But of course it must have started from politics, thuggery, transforming into banditry, and banditry transforming into terrorism. And it continues to build. And before you know it, we have a full-scale insurgency on our hands. Gumi went to visit, he did not see ragtag people. He saw people who appear to be disciplined, with weaponry of the highest caliber. And these people now say they want to get, anti-aircraft weaponry, so that any Air Force plane going on, they can be targeted. It's quite serious, quite a serious and dire situation. And this is a time when we need some sort of state of emergency, at least militarily, from the civilian government. When I mean getting to grips where you just say, well, this area, state of emergency, we're going to appoint a military administrator, because the president has the power to do that, you understand? And so that we get to grips with some of these issues.
Aside the powers the president has, he's been a soldier, he's trained to be a soldier,
Yes.
he's trained in the tactics, the intelligence and everything, but we are not getting results.
Well,
does that mean that the president failed while he was training to be a soldier?
Well, that was about 40 years ago, isn't that? And I think 40 years ago, because
what you learned 50 years ago, you still apply them?
Yes, still apply them. But if you look at the antecedents of Muhammad Buhari, he was one of the successful military commanders, particularly in the 80s and so on and so forth. I think there's something wrong somewhere. I think there's a disconnect in what he had learnt before, what he had applied before, and now. And there are many people who are suspecting, you understand, that it's not all together, there in that sense. I'm not a medical expert, you understand. That's for medical people to determine. But there's something going on. It's certainly not the Buhari we know that is in charge of the security apparatus. If it were, we will not be getting all this. It is some amateurs. This is amateur hour.
But since 1999, we've had one thing or the other to deal with. During the Obasanjo era, we had our problems. When Yar'Adua was there, it was pipeline vandalism. We had bomb blasts here and there. Jonathan, we had this. And now we had Boko Haram, but now it's banditry, full-scale banditry, herdsmen, these anti-grazing issues. We have issues, and no state in this country is left out.
I think the difference between now and then, and 1999 or 2003, is that we have a cocktail of all crises, all manner of things happening at the same time. You mentioned about 3 or 4. You mentioned the banditry, you mentioned the Boko Haram, you mentioned the herdsmen, kidnapping, all sorts going on at the same time. And that's the problem that we face. At least during Obasanjo's time, there was crisis, but it was limited to one. Same thing with Yar'Adua, one. Jonathan, one. Well, now we're getting so many things at the same time. Some people have said it's exacerbated by the approach of the government, the giraffe approach of the government to the ethnically diverse situation that we have in this country. Some would also say we haven't got a firm hand at the tiller, that we haven't got a firm hand at the tiller. That's also giving rise to it. And some would say that there's lack of real accountability, even when it comes to the security forces. You know that the people that retired recently, the military chiefs that retired, were feted and congratulated and are going to be rewarded, you understand, with ambassadorship from that point of view. So why do I have the incentive to do my best? Why do I have the incentive to resolve the problem when no matter what I do, I'm going to get an award, probably become an ambassador the next day?
We're wrapping up on this segment. Before we take a break, what's the hope? I don't know if you have answers to that, of this school children, innocent school children. And there are some members of their families were abducted, and of course, some members of staff.
And we don't have a specific number.
And in fact, baby, we have to talk about this, the condition the students were living in.
Before.
We got reports, videos, photos of the hostels and all that.
Yes.
It's an eyesore.
Yes, and I think we alluded to it earlier that our investment in education, health or anything, is nothing to write home about. Somebody's been ripping us off. It's quite clear. The state of them, I really don't know, but they must be going through unimaginable suffering at this time in the forest, foraging, and so on and so forth. I think that with adequate intelligence, our military knows where they are. The next stage will be how to get hold of them and how to get a contact. It's still early days. It's still very early days. And so they are unlikely to have been dispersed anywhere. There are just too many to be dispersed so quickly. So I think if the military gets a grip and if they go after them, they might be able to get hold of the terrorists. Negotiate, of course, because if you have a firefight with them, they're going to kill many of these children. So let's hope that the military is flat-footed, not flat-footed, quite, I don't know the word, but are quick in their reaction.
We'll take a break for a message. We come back shortly.
Uncle Dentist, what be cavities and how Colgate take they protect my teeth from cavities? Shey they use Kung Fu?
No dear, na hole for teeth dey cause most tooth pain will be cavity. But if you use Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection, take brush every day. The confirmed formula go help keep natural calcium inside our teeth. We could protect them from tooth decay.
Time don't reach to upgrade to the world's most chosen toothpaste, Colgate. Because Colgate locks calcium in.
Yes, cavities out!
Now, the Nigerian Dental Association, they recommend Colgate.
láti gòkè àgùnlà láyé èèyàn nílò ìtọ́sọ́nà ẹni tó mọ̀nà débi àṣeyọrí. FMH International HR àwọn ni gbajúgbajà akọ́ṣẹ́mọṣẹ́ iléeṣẹ́ alárinà tó mọ ojúlẹ̀jà bá ti ń tọ́ni sọ́nà finimọ̀nà nípa bí gbogbo òǹwáṣẹ́ ṣe lè pàdé àwọn òǹgbanisíṣẹ́ pàápàá jùlọ láwọn orílẹ̀-èdè tó wà lókè òkun.
FMH International HR alábàáṣepọ̀ gidi ni wọ́n jẹ́ pẹ̀lú àjọ oníwádìí ìjìnlẹ̀ àgbáyé tá a mọ̀ sí United Nations Volunteer Research Group láti jùmọ̀ tọpinpin wàhálà táwọn ọmọlẹ́yìn kojú nídìí ìgbìyànjú ajé lọ sílẹ̀ òkèèrè. ìyẹn ọ̀rọ̀ tó jẹ mọ́ international migration àti international labour activities.
ǹjẹ́ o tiẹ̀ mọ̀ pé o nílò ìmọ̀ tó jinlẹ̀ dáadáa nípa ìlànà à ń tẹ̀lé láwọn pápákọ̀ òfurufú tó fẹ́ gbà sọdá sílẹ̀ òkèèrè. lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ bá a ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí United Nations Volunteer Research Group pẹ̀lú àjọṣepọ̀ FMH International HR ń ṣe research lórí ẹ̀dùn ọkàn àti ìpèníjà tẹ́ ẹ bá ní. questionnaires táwọn òṣìṣẹ́ FMH bá fún yín lágbègbè yín lẹ́yìn ṣàlàyé ìrírí yín sí.
fún àlàyé lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ kàn sí wọn ní 3rd and 9th floor Cocoa House Dùgbẹ̀ Ìbàdàn.
telephone 0817 4444 627
àti 08168737222.
Charles!
Yes, mommy?
Go and bring 2 sachets of hypo bleach for me.
Why 2?
Because I'm using one to soak the whites and using one to kill all the germs.
But I can't see any germs here.
They are so tiny you can't see them. But they are there. And that is why I trust only hypo bleach to kill them all.
Make your white fabrics whiter and your household free of illness causing germs and viruses with the disinfecting power of hypo bleach.
Guy, what's in the make you scatter house like this, eh?
I beg, you help me see my Airtel SIM.
I carry and give Sade yesterday,
Eh?
But you know they use am again now.
Yay! You don't carry my bonus gift landlord picking. Now today you go pack out.
Eh? On top Airtel SIM?
Yes, so if you don't reach 15 days where you never use your Airtel SIM, go find them now. Because why? Ogonga will full on top of. Hey, get 2,000 naira airtime plus extra 200 MB for just 200 naira. The more you recharge, the more you are woofo. To begin enjoy this awoof, just dial *241*7#. Terms and conditions, Joe.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Two FM 949 Ibadan. That's our handle on YouTube. Welcome back. Okay, we are taking stories from the papers. We have another headline.
Yeah, this is in the Guardian newspaper, and it says EFCC demands Bawa, defends Bawa rather, over alleged corruption. NYCN backs nomination. The EFCC has refuted claims that it detained President Muhammadu Buhari's nominee for chairmanship of the commission, Abdurrashid Bawa, over alleged corruption.
Yeah, I think that's really unfortunate because it's been linked to Magu and some of the clandestine investigation that went on with Magu. Would have wanted somebody that was whiter than white, but you begin to ask questions in Nigeria. Who is it that goes for public office? It is whiter than white. But having said that, this is not just public office. This is the EFCC. So you would have expected that they would have been able to find someone who didn't have any taint at all. But I think the next question I ask, what we've been silent about, where does it exactly does it come from? The EFCC, since its creation, has been the exclusive preserve of one part of the country, and I don't think that's good enough. Having said that, it is possible that Bawa is from Edo State, or no, I don't know where he's from, but from the name, it appears he's from the north. But I'm not going to speak too soon from that point of view. So you begin to ask the question, is he going to be different? He's not a policeman, you understand, he's 40. So, of course, his approach is going to be quite different from the regular policeman.
You always say you don't seem to care where anybody is from.
No, I don't seem to care. But if you get consistent, you understand, performance that is below the par, you understand, and people keep on coming from a particular area, then you begin to ask questions, on what basis, you understand, do you continue to appoint people from a particular area? That's why I would question it. But if Bawa comes in and does the job, we'll soon forget wherever he comes from.
Do you think anybody will do anything differently? Do you think Bauer is going to perform some magic?
Well, there's a structure in which he operates, so I'm not expecting magic, but I expect transparency, I expect accountability, and I expect decency in the way that he operates, in accordance with the rule of law. If he does that, then at least it will be ticking over. But the whole structure itself has serious problems. So even if it were Bauer or Awolowo that came back from the dead or anybody, you understand, we are still going to have some fundamental issues to resolve.
And really, with the cumbersome nature of the justice system in Nigeria, do you really think that EFCC is living up to the reasons why it was established by Obasanjo?
Well, not so much because people don't fear the EFCC anymore. When Obasanjo first established it, the fear of Ribadu was the fear of something else. You understand, from that point of view. So people were really worried.
Now we heard that they run after Yahoo boys and some small fries.
I think they've lost their way a bit. And when we talk about economic and financial crimes, even do you know that herdsmen, all these crises, all these people taking over, that's an economic crime. You understand? They've not even touched that area. I think they're not adequately funded. But I also think because they got involved in things which is maybe beyond their reach in some sense, they sort of lost their way. So they need to rediscover their original purpose, and they need to be successful at it. Their role is not selling and auctioning cars. That's not their role, you understand? That should be left for some other agency from that point of view. They should be independent, not acting at the direction of the behest of the presidency. And some people sometimes have felt that they've been too close to the presidency.
And how much is the ICPC even doing?
Well, ICP does a lot, but they are quite more or less more subdued from that point of view, because theirs basically is to do with more of civil service and so on and so forth. And I don't think there's a glare of publicity with the activity. It goes with the activity. Also, the ICPC is less of policing. It's much more prosecutorial. So the head of it, of course, is a Professor Rosanye, who is a senior advocate of Nigeria. So I think by nature of their job, they are quieter. Doesn't mean they're not achieving much, from that point of view. They came up with a report recently, which was quite impressive. So I think they're doing their bit.
In the process of wanting or striving to redefine the purpose of the EFCC now, in the last few years, is it few years, we can see all the, all the issues that trailed the commission itself, the chairman on the side, and even the commission itself, the officials and what they do as against what they should be doing. Now, are we looking at, do you think this commission itself should still stand? Because I've heard people talk about, maybe we should have a new commission and totally scrap EFCC, because it looks like the agenda from the very beginning has been jeopardized. So are we looking at totally scrapping the EFCC and, another commission that would be, that would have a redefined structure and, of course, a redefined agenda?
I think we need to be very careful there, because just like with the Electoral Commission, we keep on changing, giving it different names, restructuring, and we still get the same result. I think certainly what we need to ensure is that the law setting up the EFCC tightens it, gives it independence, and that the personnel that are appointed are not just policemen. I think the mistake we made initially was that the EFCC was just populated with policemen. So they brought in this kind of police, some would say I'm being wrong, but some of the police corruption and backhand kind of activities into the EFCC. What you need is fresh young graduates, not tainted, you understand? You pay them comfortably enough so that when they go into difficult situations, they're not going to be thinking about, whatever it is, bribes and so.
Bringing in psychologists,
precisely.
Lawyers.
Yes, you're getting it, yes. So we have a whole range of professionals that are there, and I think EFCC needs to be professionalized, from that point of view. It is not at this present time.
Maybe we are going to have something changed now, since Bar is not a police officer.
Yes, we might well. It's not a police officer, it's 40. It belongs to the generation that is social media savvy.
Sorosoki generation.
Well, if you say,
belong to that generation?
I've always questioned the Sorosoki, because people like us, we're actually speaking up. And people like us,
maybe you're not speaking loud enough.
Oh no!
You need inclusion.
Well, speaking loud enough to be arrested. And so, anyway.
All right. I have a report here, and the FCTA bans open grazing in Abuja, establishes Shuriga in 3 area councils. The Federal Capital Territory Administration has prohibited open grazing of cattle in Abuja, the nation's capital. The administration said it had communicated the directive to the leadership of the Fulani herdsmen in the FCT. Now, is this going to be like a test or a litmus test, a test run or something of Furuga?
I certainly think it's the right thing to do, because Abuja in recent times has been populated with all these cattle roaming around all these nice, pristine streets, which shouldn't be the case.
Even if they are on the streets, I think it's even better. You find them walking on Eagle Square.
Yes.
You find them roaming at the Federal Secretariat.
Yes. I mean, quite an eyesore. But I think, yes, it could be a test run, and it could be a model for other states to follow, other places to follow. Ranching is the way forward.
Isn't ranching Ruga?
It is.
It
is Ruga. But the problem people had with Ruga was the government going to private owners, just taking their land and giving them this land free of charge. They are business endeavors.
Government has always done that. You remember, let's go to Ojo area. The bulk of Ojo land has been taken for either the cantonment, the military, or this research institute, even UI.
But those ones are not really they're not money-making ventures. They're not private. They're government sort of institution. So government institution. No, I mean, herding. It's not a government activity. It's private. I can go into herding, and so you mean that the government should not give me acres and acres because I'm into herding? No, it's wrong. For
peace to reign,
For peace to reign. Then they should do that to those who are doing the fisheries, the farmers, everybody.
Poultry.
Yes. So let's all have the bonanza.
All right.
Okay, I'm moving on quickly to talk about community policing as against state policing, which the PDP has rejected. The PDP governors rejected community policing. This is in the Guardian newspaper. They declared yesterday that they have lost confidence in the neutrality and capacity of community policing to serve the purposes assigned to it by the Police Act 2020. And a communique signed by the PDP Governors Forum chairman noted that Nigeria Police Act envisaged that community policing should serve as a decentralized measure of grassroots policing, and various roles were assigned to various parties, including governors. They lamented that partisanship has taken over the recruitment process of the Constitution and operation of community policing activities in the state. Now, let's talk about the recruitment process, especially recruiting people into the Nigeria Police Force and all of that.
I think it's been politicized for a long time. Recruitment, whether it's community policing or the normal police, is who you know. The senators have slots, governors have slots, and a lot of times it depends on who is able to leverage in terms of the slots. But I think the unique thing about community policing, and we need to be careful here because I'm not sure that PDP is not being very political about this and whether they would do something different if they came in. So we have to be very careful. But the thing about community policing is that it should reflect the community. The thing about community policing is that it should be directed by the community. It should be owned by the community. But the way it's been set up, it's still going to be directed from the center. It's still going to be owned by the center. Maybe the personnel will be more local. Maybe that's the difference. And I think that's part of the issues that people are quarreling with. It cannot be a panacea. It cannot be a replacement for regional police, as I've always advocated for. I'm not one of those for state police because I believe state police is subject to some kind of abuse by state governors. But if you have about 3 governors together having police forces like they do in places like Britain and so on, we might have effective policing. I think the key thing is that a Kanuri man cannot understand the issues that an Akwa Ibom person is facing. An Akwa Ibom man in Sokoto cannot understand some of the issues, the peculiarities. And that's why we need regional policing as opposed to even the community policing that is directed by the regions. Priorities are directed by the regions, agendas are set by the regions, and of course targets are cleared by the regions.
All right, we're going to take a break now. When we come back, we'll start taking calls. We'll take your headlines on the program. The numbers to call 0809 7949 and 0906 200949. Stay with us.
ẹ̀yin tèmi ó dẹ̀ rọrùn fún mi láti máa ṣorin fún yín ṣùgbọ́n ṣé mo kó tó tún rọrùn fún mi jù láti ṣe àsopọ̀ NIN mi àti ẹ̀ka ìpè Glo mi mo lè mú ẹ̀rọ ìpè mi kí n sì tẹ *109*NIN# tàbí kí n pe 109 lórí ẹ̀ka ìpè Glo mi kí n sì tẹ̀lé àwọn ìfilọ́lẹ̀ rẹ̀ tí kò bá wù mí láti pè mo lè tẹ àtẹ̀ránṣẹ́ NIN mi sí 109 mo lè kàn sórí glowworld.com/NIN pẹ̀lú íńtánẹ́ẹ̀tì ayárabíàṣá mi tí kò bá sún mi tí ò rẹ̀ mi mo lè yà ní ẹ̀ka Glo World tó súnmọ́ mi jù tó bá dẹ̀ ti gbàgbé NIN rẹ̀ tẹ *346# láti rí gbà padà ẹlòmíì lè béèrè wípé tí n bá ní NIN kọ́ kò burú Glo jẹ́ igi lẹ́yìn ọgbà ẹ̀ nítorí o lè yan fandawọ èyíkéyìí Glo Glo World tó súnmọ́ ẹ jù kó sì ṣe forúkọsílẹ̀ ìrọ̀rùn ló bá dé. Má jẹ́ kán já ẹ̀ka ìpè Glo rẹ o nítorí àwọn àǹfààní tó pọ̀ sí ìpè àti dátà látọwọ́ Glo àti so NIN rẹ pọ̀ pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ka Glo rẹ ó rọrùn gidi kò léwu ọ̀fẹ́ ni kò sì ní wàhálà rárá.
Glow Unlimited.
Lights, camera, Laycon.
No, it's not an act. This is my life for all to see. In the bright lights, see blessings how they fall on me. From small beginnings to big brother. From the chances I take to the inspiration I give others. I am a rapper, a singer, a winner. I am an icon. So when they turn the lights on, they see that I am Laycon.
Watch I Am Laycon, a brand new Showmax original reality series, only on Showmax.com.
Uncle Dentist, wetin be cavities and how Colgate take dey protect my teeth from cavities? Shey dey use comfort?
No dear, na hole for teeth dey cause most tooth pain wey be cavity. But if you use Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection take brush every day, the confirmed formula go help keep natural calcium inside our teeth wey go protect them from tooth decay.
Time don reach to upgrade to the world's most chosen toothpaste, Colgate, because Colgate locks calcium in.
Keeps cavities out!
Now, the Nigerian Dental Association, they recommend Colgate.
.32 FM 94.9 Ibadan. It's time to take your headlines. The numbers to call 009 7949 0906 2949. We have a caller.
Oh, sorry, we lost that. You can try call again 0906 2000 949. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning to you, sir.
Hello.
We are with you. Please go
Good
ahead.
morning. I'm Falodo from Kopa Ilodo.
All right.
I think I was surprised this morning when I had one story which you have just read. That Mr. Perez said that the elders with resources are those people causing problem for this country. I think Mr. Perez was saying the truth. To me personally, those are people holding the country to ransom. It's very, very unfortunate. And the reason why they are doing that is because the constitution we are operating is too oligarchic in nature. It doesn't recognize national security. It doesn't recognize national interest. Only personal interest. Until we change this constitution, we cannot continue to be deceiving ourselves. No matter how we are discussing. Any discussion that doesn't have action, I don't see anything can happen out of it. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for your contribution. 0906 2000 949. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, sir.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. We can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Very well, we can hear you. Okay, I think we lost that call. The numbers to call, once again, 0809 7000 949, 0906 2000 949. Hello. 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 All right. We have two comments from Omotolani, Abiola Mobasha, and Gwemi. We'll do justice to that soon. With that, you can drop your headlines on YouTube too. Reduce the volume on your radio set. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning. Hello. Good morning. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you.
Hello.
We can hear you. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Hello. Hello, good morning.
I just called you from. Hello.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. You see, the northern leaders and some other northern people, they have already found a way of exploiting the country, like what you already said. How can I don't call them bandits? They are terrorists because they always cover their face and hold AK-47 anywhere they are going. They are pure terrorists, and they have now found ways of making the country through those boys they adopted. You will see the ransom pay. They will pay over 800 million, or even if not in dollars, to these people. And these are the money these people are using to acquire weapons again to fight Nigeria. Very soon you will be hearing northern leaders telling us that if these new military chiefs work very hard to, in fact, to nip something on the board, you will see these northern leaders telling us that they are killing their people. It is premeditated. And this is how we are going to, because they are encouraging them, they are exploiting the country. That's an.
All right. Thank you so much for calling. We lost that call already. Yes, we take more calls. 0906 200949. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
This is Fagbemi from Ibadan.
Good morning, Chief Fagbemi.
You see, we that knows better, we know what is happening in this country. What the president has said about the airlight or whatever, about insecurity, is a fallacy, a lie, a way to cover up. We all know that when we don't do things right, there will be repercussions. Once a leader is not destined to lead and is being forced or manipulated into power, into offices, this is the consequences that we are suffering. I've said it earlier on. In Ifa, before you select a leader, you go divine. If you don't do the right thing, then there will be repercussion. It is the repercussion that we are suffering. God will deliver Nigeria. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Mr. Fagbemi. 0906-2000-949 or 0809-7000-949. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning. This is Joseph Oluwasegun from Ibadan. By my own view, I don't think EFCC has not done well. I think the problem comes from the judiciary aspect. We don't really get our judiciary right. Maybe they are trying to sabotage the effort of the government. Because most times, once they prosecute those people, at the end of the day, they will bring out a jargon to give a kind of a release to the perpetrators. Then we talk about the issue of these headers that are kidnapping the students. Government just need to put more effort. They wanted to bring this government into standstill, but by the grace of God, it will not be possible for them.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Adeshu Yomola from UI. The analyst has said it earlier that he's not very sure that the president is aware of what's going on. I want to tell you that is the truth of the matter. The president, those that manage the president there, they are using him to loot, to destroy, and to perpetrate a lot of criminality in the country just because of the fact that they know that the man is not aware of many things that is going on in this country. That is just the truth of the matter. We just have to pray. Any country that they are voting, you cannot vote with, you don't vote, you are voting with unverified integrity. We continue to witness things like this. We just have to endure the next 2 years. I'm telling you, this time around, by the time this is how it's going to be for the next 2 years, because very soon now these bandits, by the time they pay them ransom, they will say they want to integrate them to the society. I even give them foreign education. These people that we have to as leaders today, they are terribly terrible. So anyway, they're not even fit to live in any society. That's the best of today.
All right.
The cynicism and the lack of trust in government at this stage is breathtaking, and I think it does affect a lot of government initiative because people don't believe the government and they don't believe the truth of it.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, sir.
My name is Kola. Yeah, first I want to disagree with your analyst there over whether government should establish right or not. I think the example you have used when you were talking is the motor park. The motor park, those transporters, you do not private business. Governments all over the world have been involved in traffic businesses. So let's solve this
what is it called? This sentiment, this effect for the other people's businesses. I think the only solution is for government to come in and establish branches. In fact, if you look at it in the history of Nigeria, in the time of the what is their name, the colonial master, they had branches. They built branches for these people. So I think what we should do now to solve all these problems, it will benefit all of us. Thank you.
Well, I mean, what happened in the colonial era and today are quite different. I mean, the amount of cattle that were rearing. And nobody's suggesting that the government should provide it. We are saying the government should do it on an economic basis, on the basis of loan. It's unsustainable. The government cannot provide ranches for all the cattle that are roaming all over the place. That's what we are saying. And if you look at countries like Britain, Botswana, and other countries in the world, no government, you understand, fully provides this as a means of public service. So Nigeria will be unique if they do it. And maybe Nigeria will be different if we achieve success with it.
Right, let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning to you, sir.
Hello, good morning.
We can hear you. Please go ahead.
This is John Olariwaju from Ajo. My own say is that the president, as far as I'm concerned, in last week, Yahya Shave granted interview on one popular TV station, and he said that whatever he and Adesina said, that's what the Mr. President said, which means Mr. President appearance is nowhere to be found. That's the meaning of that statement. And if you look at the proactive of Mr. President to every issues on security, you will see that you will not find Mr. President at all, whether to say something or whether to, to take action on time, nowhere to be finding. And what I'm saying, the essence is that the problem that causing it is about that National Assembly. They were so, I don't know what to call them. We don't have National Assembly at all. We only have the group of people that put themselves here, collecting the money unnecessary. That's the set of people that we have there. Otherwise, by now, that National Assembly is supposed to take a necessary step about the president, whether to impeach him. That's what is the essence of killing the people and the Mr. President just silent here, and they will be taking money. What's the essence of that? Thank you.
All right, thank you.
I think it's raised the fundamental questions about accountability. What's the role of the National Assembly? Do they have a say or do they have a place?
All right, so quickly before we go, this is on YouTube. Motolani Abiola Omobashirin. This is highly frustrating country. Honestly, every day we discuss about the issue of insecurity, failure in power supply, nepotism, insurgency, and so on. Please, let's speak in one voice. Hashtag restructure now. No longer hashtag restructure now. It's now. And also, Harry Emoji, we'll see you. Thank you very much. Those are all the calls we can take. Unfortunately, time is not on our side. Thank you very much for joining us today. And thank you very much, Dr. Ojedokun. It was nice having you around. My name is GBEMISOLA. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Time was actually on our side. We spent it. My name is DELE ADEYANJU. The program returns tomorrow morning.